It's just a racing game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ratchet and Clank is better in every single way. A kid's game. It's better because it's Ratchet and Clank ripped apart and Sony made it. It doesn't matter if the racing game has already outsold the kid game. We're sitting at 1,640,779 players right now on Forza Horizon 5. So that means this gained almost 600,000 players while I was at work. And then I came home. Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're talking about the ignorance that's out there and the reason why I've been making so many of these videos condemning the PlayStation fanboy and propping up Xbox every single chance I get. So, this game, Forza Horizon 5, is freaking amazing. I'm playing at the 60 frames per second mode. It's still 4K. And every time I turn around, I'm being wowed by something new that just literally looks freaking amazing. We got them out there talking about how, well, the 4K 60 mode looks exactly like the Xbox One X. That's amazing. I'm glad that the Xbox One X players get to play this game looking as good as I'm playing right now at 30 frames a second. That's pretty amazing. That means Microsoft made an amazing console for the last generation. That upgrade was well worth the money. And now, if you bought that, going forward, you're getting to take more advantage of it. You're starting to see stuff that isn't being held back by PlayStation 4 Pro, but games that are being made forward and then backported to that console. Whoa, that's amazing. You're getting better stuff now because it's not being held back by third-party parity. I mean, you look at Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy or any of the other number of games that have come out over the last year that now look even better on Xbox One X than you were getting before. And I was already pretty happy with what I was getting on Xbox One X. I knew that changed the day I put in Dirt 5 on my Xbox One X. I was like, wow, imagine that. Look how amazing this game looks. I was like, man, this game must be taking advantage of like the newer games being ported onto it and the newer techniques that they're using. They're able to port them backwards. Like, go figure, man. Really? That's possible? Yeah, that's possible, man. That Xbox One X is a freaking beast. The only thing that was really slowing that thing down was the Jaguar cores. The GPU in that thing is pretty potent. So, yeah, you're going to get some beautiful looking games at 30 frames a second. So, I mean, I've had about enough of this fanboy stuff as I can take. Okay? Like, I'm not a fanboy. I love my PlayStation. I love my Xbox. I'm way more excited about Xbox. Way more excited. This game right here, Forza Horizon 5, is a reason why I'm excited. Like, Microsoft is doing everything they can to like push the medium forward with FPS. Like, this game right here, for me, I just can't do the 30 frames a second mode. I mean, yeah, it looks freaking beautiful. It looks amazing. But I mean, the 60 FPS like really pops to me. It really pops. It really makes me happy just how amazing this game looks and feels. Like, I am blown away. Seriously blown away. Like, I did go back and look at Ratchet and Clank. I did. I went back and I looked at Demon's Souls. Both amazing looking games. Ratchet and Clank does look pretty good for the most part. I mean, it's pretty sharp, but the 30 FPS, you know, like just like this, it kind of holds it back a lot. When you get into that game, yeah, it looks pretty sharp. It looks crisp. It looks clean. And that's the same thing with Demon's Souls. They have this crisp, clean look to them in the 4K mode. But that's like all the visuals and all the materials, all the rock, all the tree, all the everything has that same like gamey kind of look to it. Like the materials almost look the same, just really sharp and really clean. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm seeing. But when I look at Forza Horizon 5, I'm seeing dirt that looks like dirt. I'm seeing paved roads, tarmac, that look like paved roads. And the materials match what they look like. The dirt looks dirty. Like it looks like it's individual grains of dirt. Like it looks dirty. The vegetation, it looks more like a tree. It doesn't look plasticky. It doesn't look gamey at the same time. Like, I mean, there's definitely a lot farther they could push like vegetation, like tree trunks and stuff like that in the future. Like, definitely, I'm pretty sure they could. But the fact that the cactuses have needles on them and they look like cactus material and not plastic is amazing. The cars, when they sit on the road, when you're driving them on the road, the cars look freaking metal. The ground looks like it should. The tarmac, it looks just like it should in real life. The dust and the atmosphere and the air looks amazing. The sunsets, the sun, the sky, the freaking clouds, everything comes together, and this game looks like closer to realism. That's just what I'm talking about. The amount of fine detail in this game is mind-blowing. It literally is mind-blowing. I played that Halo demo, that Halo beta multiplayer. I was blown away. That game looks freaking good. And the fact that it runs so smooth at such high resolution and 60 frames a second, like, I was generally wowed. Like, that game looks really clean. It looks really good. And I'm just like, wow, man, like, this is amazing. This is what I get to expect from my Xbox going forward. I get to expect this type of immersion with visuals at a decent frame rate that doesn't make me feel like it's a slideshow. Like, I love that fact. I love the fact that these studios for Microsoft are pushing the limits of this console on all these, like, they're basically cross-gen games, but wow, man, what they're doing with them is really giving me that sense of, hey, man, like I feel happy with my investment in the Xbox ecosystem. The PlayStation 5, I'm going to be as completely honest as I can. I love my PlayStation 5. I've played some really amazing things on there. Like, Miles Morales was freaking fantastic. Like, it was. I can't take that from that. Demon's Souls, great looking game, great playing game. I'm glad that I finally get to experience that, because I never played that on PlayStation 3. So the fact that I get to play it, looking the way that it does, I'm happy with that. I'm more than satisfied with the products that I've gotten on the PlayStation 5 for the most part. Like, my expectations, that's the difference. When I got my PlayStation 5, and this is why I don't have like the whole honeymoon feeling or anything with it, is I tempered my expectations a lot for the PlayStation 5. I really did. Like, I went into it with low expectations, so I'm rarely ever super disappointed. So, I mean, that might sound bad, but yeah, I mean, like, Spider-Man, the cutscenes in that game are freaking beautiful. The moment-to-moment gameplay, man, it looks like you could literally compare that to Forza Horizon 4. Like, the visuals look about the same. You know what I mean? They're crisp, they're clean. They look about the same. Forza Horizon 4, after it got the upgrade, wow, 60 FPS for that game made it great. Spider-Man at 60 FPS, I get the same feeling playing both of those games when I'm playing them. Like, I feel good. I love doing what I'm doing. I either love driving or swinging through the city. It feels great. I don't believe that Sony has really shown us or really brought out anything really amazing that's like, wow, man, like, damn, I gotta have a PlayStation 5 for that. Like, I don't feel like any of the games that are out on PlayStation 5 right now are enough to, like, be like, wow, you gotta buy a system. Like, I love Deathloop. I think it's a great game. I think it's fun. I feel that, Yeah, I mean, it's not something that I'm like, whoa, man, I got to have a PlayStation 5 for that game. Like, I don't feel that way for it. I do like it. I do appreciate it. And I went into that game with low expectations. I didn't know what to expect. Nobody knew what to expect with Deathloop or what it was going to be. It turned out to be a pretty dang good game. And when it gets to Xbox next year, it's going to really shine on Xbox because it'll be on Game Pass. A lot of people are going to play that. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be engaging. And I can't wait to play that on Xbox next year again. I'll go back to it and play some more PlayStation 5. But I don't feel like I'm going to get that. I don't feel like I'm going to really get that sense of like, oh, until I'm playing it on the Xbox when it's fully maxed out, when it fully looks good, when it's fully taking advantage of what the Xbox Series X and S can do. That game's going to be great. When it comes to Ratchet and Clank, I can't take away the beautiful ray tracing or any of the other, fine things that game has. But it's a kid's game. If you're gonna say that Forza Horizon 5 isn't important, then you cannot bring up a kid's game and put that in our face. Like, you just can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot say Ratchet and Clank is the blah blah. You can't do that. You can't use Ratchet and Clank while dismissing Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 is a system seller. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I don't know anybody on the planet that's like, ooh man, Ratchet and Clank, I gotta have a PS5. That's just not how it works. Spider-Man, possibly a system seller. I mean, yeah, definitely a system seller for kids, for teenagers. I mean, Spider-Man's great. Like, I love Spider-Man. But I mean, let's be completely real. Spider-Man is not necessarily a system seller. I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, all right, I got my PlayStation 5. I'm going to have Spider-Man. I don't know anybody that would go out of their way to go out and buy a PlayStation 5 just for Spider-Man. Sports games sell systems. Racing games sell systems. These are the kinds of games that sell systems. And that's why they're always at the paramount of visuals when they launch. First-person shooters sell consoles. Halo is a console seller. God of War is a console seller. Uncharted is a console seller. All of those other really big name Sony first party games, Gran Turismo is a system seller. Those are the system sellers. All the rest in between are basically, bonuses. So anybody that's trying to downplay Forza Horizon 5, it's really to a point where, like, wow, man, like, really, how could you do that? And then how could you tell me I'm a noob when you're freaking holding up Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and Returnal over Forza Horizon 5? That doesn't make any sense. Like, literally doesn't make any sense. Now, I don't want to continue to, like I'm going to be honest, like, it's easy to get out there and say negative stuff about PlayStation, and clearly a lot of people like it. A lot of people like it. I did one of my live streams yesterday talking about how I feel like the PlayStation 5 is the most hyped console ever. And believe it or not, a lot more people showed up to that live stream than I've ever had, period. So yeah, a lot of people are either feeling that way or they're jumping on there to defend that. And you know what? I really wasn't having a whole lot of people in there saying, man, that's not the case. That's not the case. So you tell me, man. Is the PlayStation 5 really all it's hyped out to be? Or are people starting to finally see that, hey, man, maybe this is not as hyped as it, like, that's the way I feel. I do definitely feel like games like Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, maybe Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo, I think might actually still, fully take advantage of the PlayStation 5 and then whatever they're doing to backport that. But as far as God of War and for Horizon Forbidden West are concerned, yeah, dude, I would temper my expectations on at least the Horizon Forbidden West. I have to because that's one game that I really want to play. And I was already pretty disappointed with the not being able to play Demon Souls at 4K 60. Like, that disappointed me real bad. Like that was the first game that I sat down and turned on my PlayStation 5, and boy was I disappointed when I found out just how it looked by taking it out of the 4K mode. Like I was disappointed after seeing that 4K. I was really that really started my whole like, ooh gosh. I mean, I already had my expectations pretty tempered, but that was like, wow, dude. Wow, really? Like seriously? Like yeah. So my expectations have been tempered, and I think you should too. And trying to throw stuff like Ratchet and Clank in our face to like push your point forward, like yeah, dude, that doesn't work. If this ain't good enough, that's definitely not good enough. That is a kid game, and it's sold like a kid's game. This here is selling way better than that. We're just a couple days into this, and we're already at almost 2 million. So yeah, and it launches tomorrow. So I mean, we'll definitely see which one's on top and which one's not. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.